man. You know what time it is. Thursday evening edition so that Barry can fly to my house tomorrow. Rendition of SoCal Saturdays, hanging out with you. Louie Barry, Barry Spears, as we always do this time of week, previewing closing weekend, Saturday, of course, at Los Alamitos. A solid grade 2 on this card, Barry. I'm very excited to get this going. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. As part of your July 4th festivities, Barry, you're going to be here for July 4th. In America, the middle part of the country, the real America. Are you excited to be in America?
Yeah, I don't make it out to Middle Earth too often, so
Middle Earth talk. I like it. Oh man, how silly. But yes, Barry will be with me at the Indiana Derby on Saturday. If you are interested in that preview, we'll be on at 11 o'clock right here wherever you're watching. We'll be on with you that day, so feel free to jump in with us that way. If you are new to the program, we are presented every week by Amwager, amwager.com, amwager.com. They've got a great 100% match up to $150 right now, live in California. Bet all those California races with our friends at Amwager. And look, Bear, we're coming to the close of this strange little meet, which gives the grass a break at Santa Anita and then gets us ready to head down to Del Mar there outside of San Diego. But I gotta say, you and I have an affinity because of this show for those restricted races that we've seen for the Northern California runners. Frankly, we've gotten cards of those at Los Alamitos with the 6250 kind of claimers and that sort of stuff. I know you're like me, man. Just give me a full gate. I don't care who's running.
Yeah. It's always a challenge, and it keeps you on your toes when you get these new kind of races with new kind of horses, and it tests your resolve as a handicapper. I like it.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Again, you'll see us Saturday morning after the July 4th holiday up there at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Hi, Rachel, if you happen to be watching. It's actually 7:30. She might be done working by now. So there you go. We'll be up there. We hope you'll join us for that one as well. But Barry, let's do what we do every week on this show. Let's handicap the entire card. So glad that people decided to spend part of their horse racing weekend with us. Speaking of 6250 claimers, we'll open with one. Going 6.5 furlongs on the dirt. Only track they got there at Los Alamitos. And this is for $15,000. And Barry, you and I are actually unusually similar on a lot of races today, and this is one of them. I'll let you go first here. The inside horse is Cholima. What do we like about Cholima here?
Yeah, I think this horse just fits at this level. These aren't obviously the greatest horses on the grounds there at Los Alamitos, but these two, actually the 1 and the 2, have kind of showed the most resolve at this level, at this distance, and they should be formidable. I just went with the longer of the two.
Yeah, right. Okay, so Roman Express won the race that these two were in last time. It was a 6250 claimer there at Los Alamitos 2 weeks ago. And Barry, you get a sense with some of these meets, these shorter meets, where it's 3 weeks, it's 2 weeks, whatever it might be. For example, here in Kentucky, we think a lot about Kentucky Downs and how a horse like, who are we going to see? Who's the Publisher? We'll see Publisher in the Indiana Derby on the weekend. But frankly, before that, we had Derby winners and runners and different. Tistastic comes to mind. Ran twice at Kentucky Downs in 9 days. You get a sense for some of these trainers. Hey, my horse just loves Los Alamitos. We're going to run it back. And in my mind here, that's exactly what they're doing with the 1 and 2 here in Cholima and Roman Empress. The two of them were 1-2 in the opposite order of what I just mentioned in the last race. And I'm with you, buddy. They seem to just really fit at this level and frankly seem really comfortable at the track as well. 6 times hitting the board in 9 races for Cholima and 4 times hitting the board in 10 races for Roman Empress. In these kinds of races. So I'm with you as well. You like the 4, though, here in the 3rd spot. This is an 8-1 dog here.
Yeah, kind of the best of the rest. This horse was running at a little bit higher level than this.
Yep.
Drops in a little bit. Could wake this horse up and kind of stick around for a piece. There wasn't really too much to entice you beyond those top 2 horses. So, I'd give the 4 a little bit of a shot.
Now we'll move on to race 2. This starts the early pick 4. If you're unfamiliar with Los Alamitos, they have a $1 minimum on their pick 4 races out there. Always the most popular pools out there. And this is a cool one, Barry, the 2-year-old maiden, $30,000 claimer. And good luck with this one. We've got a couple of second timers in here. We've got a third timer in here as well. And Barry, frankly, I'm gonna lean on the horses that have the experience in this race. And the reason is, the first time starter numbers for those other trainers just simply not good. It's simply not what they excel at. So I landed, look, I'm very boring in this race. I did land on the 6 in rookie numbers. Kazushi Kimura, and it's an interesting angle here for me, Barry, as we get into the weekend. I'm going to be watching 2 things. Peter Miller has dropped a lot of horses from much, much higher spots into considerably lower claiming ranks this weekend. I'll be interested. I'm going to start watching tomorrow to see if he's trying to do that on Friday and what kind of success he's having, because we're talking later on in the card, horses that have been off that were running in, say, 50 claimers that are going to be in for like 12-5. Interested to see what Peter Miller's angle is here, but Kazushi Kimura has a chance to win the jockey title. And I know it's only a 3-week meet, but jockeys care about these things, and I think he's going to be pushing this weekend. He is 6 for 21 to start. This is one that began its career on the turf, gets to drop from maiden special to the maiden claiming ranks. This is a daughter of complexity. I'm interested, or son of complexity, excuse me. I'm interested to see him second time out. Billy Antigiorgi off the mount here. Like I said, we get Kazushi for this one. I love that angle, getting Kazushi on the horse. The 2-horse here is another second timer. Gio Franco gets this one for Edward Freeman, leaning on the second angle here. But this horse as well improved in position as they got down the stretch there at Los Al earlier in June. This is only a week off here. I also like that angle there, Barry, where they feel like the horse didn't do too much out last time. So I went 6-2 on top here. And I know you went 6-5-2. What do you like about the 20-1 shot here? Another second time start.
Steve Knapp does pretty good in this kind of
does.
situation. This horse was off slowly that day and really didn't have a shot. And one step beyond kind of ran on and ran pretty good in that race. I just think the experience might make a little bit of a difference in this horse kind of move forward off of that. I completely agree with you about the stats on the other trainers with the first time starters.
Right.
And I use 3 out of the 4 second time starters.
Yeah.
So I think there could be a nice little turnaround with the Stay Thirsty horse there. I don't even know how you say that, but Osias of the Nile.
I think it's Osias of the Nile. I think you nailed
All
it.
right,
Yeah,
well then I
exactly.
got it. I didn't want to try, but
unless it's yeah, no, it's got to be Osias. Yeah. Who is Osias? Learn next. No, we're not doing that kind of stuff here on on SoCal Saturdays. But I'm with you, Steve Knapp. That is a great percentage, 19%. You do anything at 19% in horse racing, you're going to make a lot of money, win a lot of races. And so I'm with you. It's a good angle for him for sure. But again, I'll lean 6-2, and I'll have the 7 in the third spot here, Barry. Mr. Cardenas, a third-time starter here. This is simply class relief, but frankly, I don't know how much class relief we're getting here. We're going from state bred maiden special ranks to open claiming ranks, Barry. And so I'm not at all sure that this is actually much of a class drop here, but I am simply hoping with this one that most recent work from the gate at Santa Anita over 4 furlongs is actually indicative of how this horse is going to start. Hopefully that outside post won't be too much work to do there. But frankly, in a sprint, we're going to take that slight right turn before we take a left at Los Alamitos. Maybe the 7 can get a piece of the action as well. This is SoCal Saturday. He's Barry. I'm Louie, hanging out with you. We're going through the entire card for Saturday's Los Alamitos races, including the Grade 2 Great Lady. I'm going to get to that race in race 8 here, but race 3 continues the early part of the card here. It's a maiden 12-5. We're going a mile at Los Alamitos. It's a mile course if you're not familiar with it. It's a $15,000 purse here, and it's for 3-year-olds here. And we got 8 of them in here. Barry, I'll let you go first in this one, mostly because I have question marks instead of numbers for my picks for this race. This is a brutal one for me. What did you land on here, and why is it the 7 in Firecracker Molly? And hopefully not just because it's July 4th weekend.
well, that's partly due
Let's
to
go.
that. But horses like this that are stretching out for the first time after running twice, going shorter, that kind of run evenly. If you see in the form, this horse was 6 lengths basically the whole way from the leader, the whole way around. Even did that in the first race. When they stretch out, they usually get a better trip, and they're more forwardly placed and become race horses at that point. I think Firecracker Molly fits that bill. I think the stretch out makes a lot of sense here, especially dropping to this level. Second time, the barn does pretty good with the same sort of angle as well. Billy Antigiorgi, he's more than capable of doing that same thing in this spot. Even though the recent works have been decent going into that last one on June 20th, kind of fairly quick turnaround, I guess. And I think this one fits very well in this spot here.
I thought the 8 on the outside, and now that I know it's 10-1 in Webster, I feel a lot better about it. But is coming out of an attempt in one of those restricted races we just mentioned, going a mile at Santa Anita, and frankly, wasn't terrible last time. Got a little tired at the end. But this is second off the layoff, and that's a 24% angle for Steve Sherman, who for his career has been picking off races like this. And so interested to see if this one, David Cohen out Wester, right? At Los Alamitos, which is kind of an interesting
Interesting.
one. Yeah, I used to seeing him here either in Kentucky or up at Hawthorne, something like that. Interesting to see David doing the darn thing at Los Alamitos. Good luck to him, of course. Already has a win on the meeting. But I think this one, stepping into this kind of company, not too much of a step up from what it was doing before. Keeps Lasix here. And just maybe Cohen gives it a good ride here. You've got the 5 in the second spot in Smiling Capote. Our guy Armando Ayuso aboard for that one.
Yeah, I think they were kind of ambitious with this horse in those first 2 spots, especially going long. This is way better of a spot to drop into. I'm not really sure if this horse was ever meant to run on the turf, given that those first 2 races were just atrocious. So, the makeover, getting off the turf onto the dirt makes a lot of sense here. This horse is keeping really good company in those races. Just the drop itself puts this horse in contention.
Riding By is the favorite here. This is a horse that's gone a mile twice, but both of them on turf. We always tell people at Los Al, hey, those turf horses, they seem to perform just fine there. But boy, I'm not at all sure in this field, Barry, with a horse that's run 8 times and never finished better than third, that I'm looking at 2-1 in this spot.
Yeah, that's a total bet against. I mean, as the losses pile up,
Yeah,
there's really not much further down this horse could actually drop here. So,
right.
at 2-1, that's a stretch. I don't think that's going to happen at post time. I would say a horse, maybe the inside horse might take some action, and Smiling Capote will probably take a little bit as well.
Hey, this is SoCal Saturday. We're presented by AmWager. If you need speed, power, top tier features like true odds and conditional wagering, a platform built by horse players for horse players, check out our friends at AmWager, amwager.com. Go check them out right now. A 100% deposit match up to $150. I'm Louie Barry. He's Barry Spears, and we walk through the card every single week here on a show called SoCal Saturdays. We hope you will make us part of your weekend plans every week. Race 4, Barry, is a maiden special weight for Calbreds. We're going to 6.5 furlongs. Seems to be the distance du jour at Los Alamitos, the old 6.5. $45,000 on the line here, of course, for Calbreds or Cal Sired in this spot. I thought a really fun race, Barry. You and I have the same 2 on top. I'll go first with Calm Down Kimmy on the outside, the 7 horse here. Kyle Frey gets the mount for Sheldon Paldanius. And this is just one that was very, very good at 5.5 and just ran out of gas. This is one that, if the workouts are correct, including a June 15th workout there at Los Alamitos, that was a 46 and change. If that horse is flying like that, she's going to be just fine. This daughter of Desert Code, and I think can really, really get it done here. I know you agree. You've got that horse second, but you've got the 5 on top here. Timekeeper's Charm. Thiago Pereira with Steve Knapp.
Yeah, I just felt for Calm Down Kimmy that the 6.5 might do her in this time.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit too far.
Yep.
And a horse like Timekeeper's Charm should be right there to pick up the pieces. Not much beyond that, other than the 3 maybe Sacred Sound, first time starter.
Yeah.
But this was a straightforward kind of race where that Calm Down Kimmy's going to be on the lead. It's just a matter of how far she can take this field, but I just thought the 6.5 might be a little bit too far.
Yeah, Clubhouse Cutie's an interesting one, and here started her career, daughter of Clubhouse Ride at Santa Anita, going on the dirt, not much there, tries the turf, much better showing last time, moves to the Ian barn from the Eric barn out there out west, and should be an interesting runner here as he gets his career going. Maybe a little bit too much too soon as far as this one's concerned, but has been working at the Tapeta course at Santa Anita. It's one I expect to see, say maybe in a maiden claimer down at Del Mar later in the summer. We'll have to see with that. That was the start of the pick 6 there at Los Alamitos in race 4. No late pick 5 at Los Al, so this is a start of a $1 pick 3 there in race 5. We're looking at a mile again, 62.50 claimer here for $15,000. 3 and up here in this race, Barry. I'll have you go first in race 5 here. You and I, This is as different as we're going to be on a race today at Los Alamitos, which usually means it's a tough one, but you've got a long shot, 15-1 on Sugar Beets, Thiago Pereira for Manuel Badia.
Yeah, this race is completely wide open. Like for anybody playing multi-race bets, anything like that, pick threes, doubles. This race
For to close the
as
early pick five, right? Yeah.
tough as it gets. I would say it's probably a spread race, but I thought Sugar Beets had run well at a higher level going back to Fresno and Pleasanton. That those races kind of would be really competitive at this in this
Mm.
spot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to tell because all these horses have been running these races and not winning. You see their numbers, but it's hard to equate where
Mm.
they kind of fit with each other because they haven't been winning races. They've been running a certain number or within a certain range. I just thought Sugar Beets might have a little bit of a class edge, so that could be enough to get this horse over the top and kind of close late to win this race.
You've got Impossible Task in the second spot here, in for the tag, ran in a 10,000 claimer last time. Up the track a little bit. The horse is yet to win this year, but has hit the board twice this year, Barry. Coming in to this one, what stood out about Impossible Task for
I think the stretch out
you? Mm.
to a mile makes a lot of sense here. This horse had some decent races last year, particularly last winter, that were formidable in this spot. And again, this horse has been running with better horses and not winning, running certain numbers that are competitive here.
Right.
So it's hard to translate, but getting the blinkers on and stretching out a little makeover package won't hurt. I know this is an 8-year-old horse, but this isn't the greatest field we've ever seen either.
The 5 and the 7 combined to be 15 years old. They also combine for a 56 total trips over dirt at a mile. How about that? Barry Spears going with the experience in race 5. I'm going a very different route in this one. I'm going to use the 4 on top. I'm using the Kazushi Kimura angle for the weekend. This is a horse that's run 5 times at a mile, not had success yet, but has run second and third, including in some of those restricted races at Santa Anita. Ran at 5.5 last time and almost got there under Kimura. I think the stretch back out will be really good here. Tim McKenna does that at 18% in a recent decent pool size of those horses. So I'm going to lean on Fast Service. I like that 5-1 price as well, Barry, in here. I don't know that I'd want to bet much less than 9-2 in this field as a straight. No, I'm serious, as a straight win bet on any of these horses. So I think 5-1 is probably where I would hope that it would land overall. And then I went outside to Union Wave. This is going to be the favorite almost certainly by the speed figures. The real question here, though, Barry, is do you want to break from the 10 in a mile race at Los Alamitos? And this is a horse that is very used to getting its way, getting the lead. Are they going to have to do too much work early? I know you left this horse out of your handicapping. Is that why?
That's absolutely why.
Okay.
That's a tough trip,
It is a tough
especially
trip.
with other speeds in the race. I mean, the 2 Abaddon will most likely try to get up and go. Same thing with the 3 Chief Jackson.
Sure.
So I was kind of cold on that because the horse is going to have to go
It's going to have to go.
and
I agree.
go around at least those 2. That might be enough. I mean, these horses don't like to win as it is.
Yeah, Impossible Task, the 7 does have a very similar early speed. You also have the 9 in your handicapping. Barry, if you're right about this trifecta, you may be able to retire. But this is another 15-1. Bug Boy Orantes has it here for Bill McLean. This is one that we saw in those $5,000 races. This horse is 0 for 5 hitting the board this year, Barry. Talk us into him.
I think this horse has races that could win this from last year. Last November, it was running really good at higher level and just kind of spiraling down. I see the horse is off form, but this is probably the lowest level in a while. And if this horse wakes up or so happens to wake up, I think this horse could get a good trip. I mean, getting the break in the weight too could make a little bit of a difference in getting this horse out in front and kind of picking their spot. But we'll see. I mean, this is the elder statespeople of the backstretch. I mean, I think the youngest horse in this race is 5.
That sounds right. Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. It's pretty incredible. We'll move on to race 6. This starts that late $1 pick 4 there at Los Alamitos. At the end of the show, I will post my $1 pick 4 for this weekend. I think you can actually go skinny at the end of this card here, Barry. We'll see if you agree with me. Maiden 50 here for state-bred horses. I want to ask you, is this actually a claimer or is this just a condition to get horses in here?
I think it's just a condition to get
Okay,
horses
yeah,
in.
okay. Now, I want to be clear. Your horse wins here and you qualify for starter allowances and that kind of stuff. I mean, good on you. That's great. This might be a great spot to start a horse that you think has a spot in maiden specials, but this is a maiden 50. Again, 6.5 on the dirt, $30,000 purse here. This is for Cal Breds or Cal Sired in this spot. Barry and I landed on the same horse in the 7, and I think a lot of people will as well. Be the guy, not that guy is the name of the 7 here. Barry and I hoping not to be that guy this weekend up at Horseshoe Indianapolis, but second time starter here, Barry gets Lasix, all of the things coming off the break at Del Mar, but almost certainly those works at San Luis Rey, working this horse 6 full furlongs at San Luis Rey, getting his legs back over and over. Seen some decent works from him. Why did you end up landing on this? And this is, by the way, one of those Peter Millers in a stake, or excuse me, in a claiming race here, off a long layoff here. A son of Outwork. What'd you like about him?
Just the makeover package. First time gelding, first time Lasix. Didn't really run all that poorly the first time out. Obviously, there was something that went wrong. The confidence of them bringing this horse back at the same exact level. Also, the least amount of trips around the track other than a first time starter. There's some upside here, and all signs point to this horse running a really good race, but no cinch by any means.
Yeah, so we both landed on the 7 here. You went 1 in the second spot. I went 4 in a first timer. Abel Escano gets the ride for Tim McCann here aboard Hankey. It's not foreshadowing at all what I expect to happen tonight or anything like that, but he's in for the cap for the tag here. Not a great angle for Tim McCann to start here, but Barry, I'm learning from you. This is a horse whose works I just like. Broke from the, I love the June 21st work, breaking from the gate there at Santa Anita. If this horse can repeat that, get out of the gate okay, if Lascano can get this horse going, I think we might have something here. And this is a maiden claiming number for Tim McCann at 18%, win sprints at 22%, et cetera, et cetera. So if we put aside some of those other numbers, man, he really does make a lot of sense in this spot, Barry. So I went 7-4 here. You went 7-1 and 3. What do you like about Eagles Dare, who's going to be in the Daniel Dunham barn for the first time?
This horse ran a good race back December 29th, 2024 at Santa Anita. That race is formidable in this spot. And if Valdivia can get this horse out of the gate and get good position, I could see that same kind of trip happening and this horse falling into possibly winning this race. The same thing with the 3 T1 Deflower Free.
Oh, yeah.
I like the fact that this horse showed some giddy up last time and got to the front. I know this horse hadn't been bet or anything in any of their tries, except I guess last May that horse was bet a little bit. But the fact that this horse showed speed kind of gets on my radar, and has some experience. And, I could see this horse getting out front, hanging around for third.
Another one running back on 2 weeks rest, ran earlier in the meet. We don't have Horizon Wildcat in our handicapping at all, Barry. The 5 horse who probably will be the favorite under Kyle Frey. I will be honest, the reason for me is I see the turf form, but I certainly don't see the dirt form with this one. Do you see the same thing there?
Yeah. Okay. He didn't really want any part of the dirt in that one run. You can even see it in the replay. So 2-1 is a stretch. I really do hope people bet this horse.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, man. This is SoCal Saturdays. Barry Spears, Louie Barry hanging out with you. We are presented by Amwager. Amwager.com, a 100% deposit match right now for new customers, up to $150. Live in California. You can bet all the California tracks. Get in with our friends at Amwager and Amwager.com. Optional claimer or a starter allowance, depending on how you are entering your horse here. You can be in the tag if you don't qualify for the different conditions here, but we're going 6.5. Like I said, seems to be the theme of the day there at Los Alamitos on Saturday. $20,000 purse for this one, Barry. And another one that feels at least a bit wide open. You and I landed on 2 different 5-1 shots in this race. I'll go first. We're going to have a good time. Is going to break from the 5 here. Orantes, our bug boy here for Gennaro Vallejo. Ran really well at the 1,000 level at a stake last out. Before that, ran fourth by 3.5 at Santa Anita going 6 furlongs. And then they tried him in an 870 yards, which is not very long, folks. It just isn't. It's okay to say out loud. They tried him in an 870 where he finished third, frankly, at Los Al. And so this is one that has good experience at Los Al, even if it doesn't show up in the numbers, because remember, we're running an LRC and not an LA, technically, and certainly just against thoroughbreds here. But this is one that I think can get up and get there by the time. This is just a home game for this 6-year-old gelded son of big, bad Leroy Brown. Why not? Who they bred for $1,500. And so I think he can get there, Barry. This is another one that feels at least a little wide open. I think in my pick 4, this is easily the most spreading that I do of any of the races. You landed on the 4 here in Majestic Palisades. What do you like about Majestic Palisades?
Yeah, I love the claim and the cutback. This horse won a mile last time, ran a really good race. I think the well, not really a drop, but second time at this sort of level.
Right.
This kick going 6.5 is really going to kick in. This horse is going to be close. You could even say, or it's arguable that this horse's best race came at 6.5 furlongs at Los Al.
Right.
Just lost back in September last year. Just missed. Gets Aguilar still, despite the claim, which definitely is a bonus for me. And I think Halo Rando's just
the 8 horse here.
Yeah, I think this horse is just gonna miss. I really like this exacta a lot, but I just feel like Halo Rando ran his best race under perfect conditions last time and didn't get it done. Gets into the same sort of race and will probably get the same sort of trip, but I think falls short again. I think Majestic Palisades runs him down.
Okay. I think if he runs the same race, I think he's got a really, really good shot. I included the 4, 5, and 8 in my pick 4 here. So you and I similar here. I know you don't have the 5 in your handicapping. Much of what you said about Halo Rando, though, look, this horse, 3 of his last 4 races has either won or been within a length of the finisher. So 2 firsts and a second. Sometimes, Barry, at this level, you're just looking for horses that are at part of the equation at the end of the race, right? That are at, part of that finishing group that has a chance to win. That's essentially why I included the 8 here. But you have the 1 in your handicapping and atomic drop, Asael Espinosa. Only 7-2 here, man. Has been running at a mile at Santa Anita, and we've seen some success there. We'll be cutting back route to sprint for Steve Knapp. Good percentage, 17%.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure if this horse really wants to go this short, but there's versions of this race where this horse can kind of get away from early, get to the lead, and kind of run them off their feet. This horse has been running in better races all the way around. It does have a little bit of versatility, and 7-2 is not a bad number considering a horse like Halo Rando is probably going to take a lot of money. Just one to keep an eye on.
We go to the race of the day. It'll be race 8, and it is a grade 2. And boy, is it a grade 2 field. The Great Lady M, $200,000 here, Fairleys and Mares 3 and up, going 6.5, believe it or not, on the dirt there at Los Alamitos. And Barry, it's not always the case that we get to watch in one race the return of a horse, of a filly in this case, that we know what she can do. Sweet Azteca is back. She won this race last year. This is her territory. This is her I don't know. This is her trophy at this moment. And then we get Copion, who showed up over Derby weekend at Churchill Downs and put a middle finger up in front of the Twin Spires to that field by multiple lengths. Kazushi Kimura could have ridden backwards and she would have been just fine. So we're going to play a game that we love to play on these shows, buy or sell, in honor of Great Lady M. If they have a chance to win, we're going to call the Great Lady. And if not, it's not great. It's not great. Yeah. So we're going to go with not great. All right. So Barry, let's go through the field here. Super Shine will break from the inside. I got to admit, I was surprised to see 12-1 here. I don't know that this is the top horse in this field, Barry, but I feel like more like, I'm not even exaggerating, 6-1 would be more of an apt number for this horse coming out of, and I know it's a listed stakes, but some other horses ahead of this one. She did win a stake ran second in the Santa Maria last year. I mean, this is a horse that has good experience, has shown it since she's moved here from Argentina. Chance to win, though, in this field at this distance, Barry.
Chance to win, not a Great Lady.
Not a Great Lady, okay. I agree with you largely on this one. I think 6.5, which she did in this race last year. She lost by 12 lengths to Sweet Azteca. I think there's a chance that we see that kind of performance again. I think she needs the 2 turns. I think she's more of like a mile and an eighth kind of horse. I think they'll probably get back to that either at Del Mar or once we get back to Santa Anita in the winter, something like that. But for now, hey, horse finished third last year. It's a $200,000 race. Go get your check and keep moving on with things. The defending champ, Sweet Azteca, is in here. The buyer figures of those 3 races last year, all in a row. The Beholder Mile, which she won. The Great Lady M, of course, this race with a 106 buyer, and she gets a 101 in at Del Mar in a grade 3 as well. This is a horse, Barry. I know she's off the layoff and all those things, but if the works are any indication, and certainly the previous form, she's an absolute great lady for me. Where did you land on Sweet Azteca?
Yeah, she's definitely a great lady. She has every right to win this race off the bench like this. Been training like a monster, but I'm a little skeptical, actually.
I don't hate that take from you, Ray. The 3 horse here will be Chismosa, which is Spanish for joke. In case anybody's wondering, Chismosa, cheese. So Chismosa will be in here. No joke, though. She'll be ridden by Kyle Frey for Rafael De Leon. Ran really well in that Desert Stormer last time behind Super Shine, but if I was not great on Super Shine, why would I be great on Chismosa here? I am not. Barry, where do you fall?
Yeah, not great. Wah, wah.
Not great, Bob. It's just not great. All right, so we move on to the 4 horse here. And the one that I know the least amount about and the one that I cannot figure out in this field is Barbara T. Here are her jockeys for her 3 lifetime starts. Preakness winner Umberto Rispoli, Eclipse winner Flavia Pratt, and Preakness winner Umberto Rispoli. Okay. She went second last July at Del Mar. They had to wait till April. She comes back, no problem, wins by 11 3/4 lengths in a maiden special going 6 furlongs at Keeneland at the highest level. Then she turns around and runs against winners for the first time. And if you go back and watch that race, with Umberto, that's a paid workout. She never got into full gear and still did the 6 furlongs in a minute 10. I'm going Great Lady. I think this is the upset special of the day. If it's going to happen, it's going to be this horse. Do I think it's going to happen? I do not. But if there is going to be an upset special on this entire card, Barry, I'm calling it right now, it'll be Barbara T. I expect her to be in the trifecta by the time we get to the race. What say you about the 4 here in Barbara T?
I say she's not a great lady.
Okay.
In this spot.
Why is that?
I just thought the fields that she was facing was pretty soft, especially that satin blue maiden race. That wasn't that great. She hasn't seen the likes of this sort of speed yet. I mean,
right.
She's talented enough to adapt and get better, but I just don't think this is the right spot for it.
One Magic Filly, daughter of Good Magic, and of course my Philly girl, will break from the 5. They shift this one east to run on the ski pad on Preakness Day at Pimlico. Flavia Pratt had the mount that day. Antonio Fraser, who just won the riding title at Santa Anita, will have the mount here, Barry. For Phil D'Amato, the 2 of them have already won at Los Al in this meet. Antonio's 3 wins and 3 seconds in 10 starts at Los Al right now. This is an interesting one. Ran into La Brea in December, had to be off until that run on the ski pad. Has worked great since the ski pad. Great lady or not great lady here, Barry?
I say One Magic Filly is a great lady.
How about that? All right. What do you like about her the most?
Running style. I think, there's a setup here that One Magic Filly could take advantage of, depending on how things go up front, especially with Super Shine. I don't know if this horse is going to be the fly in the ointment, or are they going to let Sweet Azteca kind of get to the front without any kind of tussle? And then you have Barbara T. So it could get a little hot up front. Copian could also get involved in that a little bit. And Magic Filly could be the one that kind of hangs out and swoops past. Did it already and beat Sweet Azteca once. I think this horse could do it again. It just depends on how this race unfolds, but I'm willing to take a shot at 5-1.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad take by you. I'm going to call her not great in this spot. I just think what she does well, 2 other horses in this race do better. That's what I would say as far as this field is concerned. And I think she's going to pick up a bunch of good checks. She won the freaking Santa Monica, or she won a Del Mar and an optional claimer, won the Chellingworth last year as well at a grade 3. So it's not as though she's not capable. I just think others, she's more of a grade 3 type horse, and we got legitimate grade 2 horses in here. I'll just go ahead and put this up for Copian. You know what? I should have just made one that just said
It
Copian.
said the
I should
greatest lady.
just
The
said
greatest lady.
Copian. Is she the best? Is she the best filly in training right now?
Could possibly be. I mean,
She
I'm
might
very
be, right?
excited to see her run. And there's not too many horses like that. Her run in at Churchill was real
Yeah,
good and
it was different,
very
man. It was
impressive on the
different. I'm not gonna
floppy
lie to
track.
you. It was
Yeah,
different.
it felt
It
like
was
she was
different.
breathing different air than the rest of
Yep,
them.
it was
And
different.
this is going to be a treat. So I'm definitely excited to see her run.
Yeah, Copian will come off. You know what I also like about this? I was in town and just starting to work derbies when Omaha Beach had to have the surgery and
Oh,
scratch out of the derby. And this is a daughter of Omaha Beach, and guess who the trainer is? Richard Mandela, who had to scratch Omaha Beach out. I like the idea of her having a really good year, maybe even a Breeders' Cup type year to kind of make up for that derby. Because honestly, going into that derby, man, all of us were talking about Omaha Beach, right? I mean,
oh
every
yeah.
single one of us. Yeah. Even if he wasn't your top pick in that race, you were still like, oh yeah, he can win here, right? For sure. And so I hated that moment. It was so brutal. I remember our local station where I work at ESPN Louisville did a huge like 20-minute interview with Bob Baffert and Richard Mandela, and then like an hour later,
Wow.
had to scratch the poor guy. Like Mandela like
Tough.
turns around after the interview and finds out right then, the poor guy. So hopefully she keeps it going and he gets to have a little bit of redemption at least with Copian. The final race Barry and I agree on in an unbelievable way. This is a maiden 12-5 go for $15,000 going 5.5 furlongs here, 3-year-olds and up on the male side of things here. Lots of different runners, lots of different styles, Barry, in this one, but you and I landed on some combination of the 1, 4, and 11 in here. It's interesting. Both of us liked Honor the Cat, the 4. Chavez and Phil Oviedo. I have never, ever even thought about that combination as one that I would put into my handicapping, but boy, I absolutely did. What do we like about Honor the Cat?
I think this horse's last race was good. Dropped down to this level for the first time. Ran a pretty decent race against a bunch of horses. There was 11 horses in that race. Why not? Didn't get the best of
I agree.
trips, and there's really not much to go off of in here. I mean, nobody's really
Right.
stand out-ish, but why not?
Yeah.
Especially at a good price like that.
Yeah, carrying 111 here as well for Chavez, a bug boy here who's yet to win this year, 0 for 13. But hey, it's a sprint. Go win a sprint, son. This is one as well that broke from the gate the other day doing a 3 furlong work. Fastest bullet at Santa Anita as well. So just seems to be in good form. Seems to be ready for this spot, Barry. I totally agree with you. I'll talk about the 11 here in drop the bit. Herrera Garcia in this spot ran at the maiden 12-5 spot last time, finally dropping into that out of state bred maiden special weight company here. Antonio Garcia doing that pretty well. But this is when he's going to turn around from last week. He doesn't do this terribly often. So I think this is just him throwing the blinkers on and saying, hey, we got real close last time. Let's run it back here. I love that angle. I think the horse has a really serious shot here in this one. There's that Peter Miller thing, man. I'm telling you, the 10 horse here. I'm trying to figure out what Peter Miller's going to ruin my Saturday. That's what's going to happen.
I hope
Luckily, well, he might ruin the Los Al part. We're not ruining the Indiana part, but he might ruin the Los Al part of this one. Why don't you talk about the inside horse, though, Into Honor Bro? Edgar Payeras, our guy from Los Al there, gets them out for Jesus Ramos. Excuse me, I almost said Ramon for ours.
I cannot stress enough how speed is always effective in these lower level maiden claimers and claimers in general. Into Honor Bro has speed,
Yep.
shown speed at at Golden Gate, albeit on the synthetic. Had one run at 50,000, drops way down into this spot. I think this horse is just going to be forwardly placed and can hang around. I really do hope this horse gets bet because this is a major bet against, even though I do like this horse to stick around for third or just kind of be in the picture.
Right.
These kind of horses on the rail like this, they get bet down and speed with some question marks, dropping way down like that are complete bet against for me.
Got it. Yeah, this is one second off the layoff here as well. Obviously ran in March of 2024, took an entire year off, didn't run again until Santa Anita in June in that maiden 50. Frankly, broke well in that race, Barry, just didn't have the stamina at that point. So hopefully a little bit better as we move forward. Here's my pick for the late part of the sequence on Saturday. They're starting essentially with a 9876 with race 6. So a couple of horses in race 6, 3 of them across that Barry and I talked about, the 4 and the 8 in race 7. I'm adding my 5 in here that I have on top. Kazushi gets them out there. We'll go single with Copian, which I think is actually fairly aggressive on this day, Barry, because I do think Sweet Aztec is going to get some money. I think people will try some other horses in there as well, just to see, because that's one of those, you and I talk about, with other cards. What's the horse you've got to beat to maximize your wager, right? That kind of thing. And Copian would certainly be that horse on this card. If you could beat her and Sweet Azteca somehow, certainly you're looking at a much better pay. And then the 3 horses Barry and I just talked about in the last, the 1, 4, and 11, only $18 to play that $1 pick for this weekend. And we always encourage you to play it at Amwager. How about that? Amwager.com. Go get signed up right now. 100% deposit match up to $150. That's right. You got $100 and you want to play Los Al this weekend, you can have another $100 to do exactly that. So check out our friends right now at Amwager and Amwager.com. You're hanging out with us all the way through the Breeders' Cup back at Del Mar for sure. So excited to have them on with us. Well, Barry, you're not a great lady, but I think you're great. And I will see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Are you excited to see Louisville's airport with like 7 gates?
Yeah, because it's probably like Daytona's. There's only like 6.
So easy. It's just the easiest freaking airport ever. So there you go. All right, brother. Well, I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Again, we'll be out at Horseshoe, Indianapolis this weekend. So if you happen to be out there, come find us on the first floor. We'll be on the stage there 11 to noon, then answering questions from noon to 1 as well. If you have any questions for us, I would love to help you out. If you've never wagered before, whatever it might be, you got a question about a horse in a specific race, that's for Barry. But if you need help with shaving your head, that's my territory for sure.
Yes.
For Barry, I'm Louie. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy 4th of July. I hope you're able to be safe, number 1, but number 2, spend time with family, friends, etc. Barry, I'll see you tomorrow, my friend. It's been another rendition of SoCal Saturday.